What's going on, guys? Welcome to Victims and Villains. If you guys are new to this channel, we talk about mental health through pop culture. My name is Captain Nostalgia. Let's go ahead and jump into today's topic. Today we're talking about the home video release of The Tank. So let's jump into it. The Tank tells the story of a family which inherits a old school property off a beautiful lakeside country, only to find out that it is encapsulated by monsters. First off, I feel like if you've listened to our horror podcast, Abyss Gazing, which I am the proud co-host of along with my buddy Mark, we are apologists for practical effects. And in a day and age where the mainstream cinema is overrun by CGI, look no further than The Flash, which you guys can check out our review of down below, and wait for the end of this video. But practical effects just kind of seem to be fleeting. They are not the mainstay as they once were back in the day. And so anytime there comes a movie along that is using practical effects as its backbone for whatever purpose, I'm here to 100% champion that. And I really love that about The Tank. I don't want to give too much away about the monster design. I have two specific other properties that this reminds me of. If I ever get a chance to meet these filmmakers, I would love to kind of talk to them about the production and the design of the monster. But needless to say, the practical effects on this, while they are minimal, they are quite effective. I also think this movie really excels on its technical aspects a lot more than some of the other aspects that I'll talk about in just a few minutes. But the reason that I feel like the practical effects work as well as they do just also happens to be because of the lighting surrounding this film. I think the production of this entire film is just absolutely stunning. I'm not just talking about the actual nature effects that a lot of this movie takes place in, but a lot of the practical effects coming into this, the way that shots are lit up, the way that actors are lit when they enter a room, just how atmospheric this film can really feel. I honestly don't think this movie would be as effective as it is without it being as atmospheric as it is. If you're coming to this movie expecting a creature feature, yes, you will get it, but it's going to take time. The Tank is an absolute slow burn film. It takes its time, it really unravels its world. And I'll be honest, I really had a love-hate relationship with that. I feel like it worked really well for the story, but it felt like I couldn't actually connect or invest into the characters. So I felt like it worked really well to kind of set up and set this atmosphere for not only this lore and the building to the anticipation of the monster, but also at the same time, I felt like I just didn't have any connections to these characters. At the end of the day, I feel like I couldn't tell you one thing or another about these characters or how they were developed, because these characters really just feel one note. They feel like you could just write them off as they're just kind of expendable victims for another creature feature, though I will neither confirm nor deny that our characters make it out at the end. Our cast is small. It is made up of primarily 3 people. You do see a couple people pop up and out, but the majority of the people that we spend the time with is our 3 main characters. And I feel like for this being such a small knit crew, there is such room that you can develop and really kind of expand upon the stories of these 3 individuals. And this movie just kind of misses that opportunity. I think what this movie excels at is all of the technical aspects of it, the pacing, but when it comes down to its actual story and its characters, it really fumbles. These characters almost feel like they are akin to the development of 80s slasher victims. There's not really a whole lot of development. I'd probably say that 1 out of the 3 kind of has what could pass as a backstory. It could pass as some sense of development, but for the most part, they just feel like forgettable characters and a largely, surprisingly atmospheric film. Like I said before, I think the performances are really, really great. I just think it's kind of some of the writing and kind of some of the development of this. I felt like with the pacing, though, I felt like it was really good. There were definitely some parts that just kind of felt like they did drag, or that they could have been better used to kind of develop these characters. All right, well, let's run this through the Rorschach rating scale. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give The Tank, which you guys can pick up for yourselves from our friends over at Wellgo Entertainment, June 27th, 2023. Available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital, a 3 out of 5. I think this movie does atmosphere really well. I think it excels in its technical abilities, but it really fumbles in terms of character development and its character interactions. If you guys have seen The Tank, what did you guys think about it? Comment below and let me know, because it has made its festival rounds, and now you who couldn't see it at the festivals get a chance to see it, so let me know. Let's talk about mental health. If you guys are new to our content, Mental Health Moment is where we take a theme of mental health out of the film which we're talking about, talk about it for a few moments in the hopes to deconstruct the stigma surrounding mental health. The majority of this film is kind of built on this concept of a mother keeping a secret from her son, but I want to explore the lasting impacts of secrecy among peers and loved ones and their mental health. A good portion of this film's first act follows our father figure protagonist, who, as he's kind of like unraveling this secret and how it plagues his mental health. And I've had my fair share of times where this has been implemented on me personally. Secrets have ruined relationships. It has made me question my own value as an individual. It has affected my own self-esteem, how I've interacted with others as a byproduct as well. So I'm not really going to spend a long drawn out time like I typically would on something like this. I just want to encourage you to be transparent, and the importance of transparency. So if you or someone you know is currently going through anything like that, or you're still processing it, there are links in the show notes below to check out our mental health resource library. I hope that's an encouragement to you guys, because secrets do have lasting impacts. You guys can pick up The Tank beginning June 27th from Wellgo Entertainment. It's once again, it's available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital. In the links below, you guys will find links to all of our podcasts, more movie reviews like this, our mental health resource library, our Patreon, and that subscribe button below. So keep it here and stay classy.